What's going on, everyone? How are y'all doing tonight? Oh, that music way too loud. All right. So, what is going on this wonderful April evening with all of you? I am currently just putting together a list here. A couple questions that I am going to be answering tonight. I am sleepy. Oh. What's up, Stacy? I am tired. That is how I am right now. That's a good question. I'll do these. Oh. So how's everyone out there in the stream this evening? I'm still trying to wake up. Sorry. I can only imagine how entertaining it is to watch a fat guy yawn on stream. Yeah, we're getting back into that season of the year where I gotta mow the lawn. So that's what we are now back into. All right. I usually have it over here and this over here. Yeah. All right. Oh. Gotta say, I am very happy with this music I found recently. I actually reached out to the guy who composed a lot of it, just making sure that it was cool that I use it. And he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, do your thing. So I'm just gonna do my due diligence and post the link to it here in the chat. If anybody wants to watch it, there's the attribution. Excuse me when I somehow am inspired to purge things from my house. Spring cleaning, yeah. Yep. That's understandable. All right. Yeah, so we'll get started here. I'm just trying to fix something that got messed up. Sorry about this. I had a document formatted, and as I was just about to pull it up, everything got messed up on it. And I thought to myself, like, oh, I'll just go back in the history of it. It won't pull up. So, 'tis life. Yeah, I wish that was the case. Honestly, half the time it's just me messing up. You accidentally hit Control Z and then you tap something and you lose everything, and but you know, 'tis life. All right, so yeah, we're gonna get started here. Now, I said in the Discord that we were going to be talking about something that I have been something that Jared has been kind of bugging me for the past couple weeks. So we're gonna take a look at this. That's on the wrong side. Fuck. That's the right one. There we go. So we are going to look at the College of the Dark Carnival. So Jared is not here, but I have already sat down and talked with Jared about this, and so he's well aware of what this is. So Jared has been kind of bugging me about wanting to have a D&D undead circus ringleader character for a while, but there really wasn't a subclass that went along with it. We kind of figured Bard, would be what it is, because he kind of has a character already built around a warlock, and I thought warlock, but we decided not to. We decided to go Bard. And so what we came up with was the College of the Dark Carnival. So the way that this works is you are a you're a bard who has the ability to raise the undead and use them in performances to entice and draw the attention of of people, to distract them and coerce them, persuade them in various ways. So that is what we are building with this. That's what we built. So the way that the College of the Dark Carnival works is, starting at 3rd level, you gain the ability to raise undead creatures to act as your entourage. As an action, you can expend a use of bardic inspiration to animate and can animate a corpse or skeleton within 30 feet of you as per the animate dead spell. So that's what we're going to pull up over here. So it follows a lot of the same structure in here. The undead creature obeys your commands for 24 hours or until they are destroyed. You can have a number of undead creatures under your control equal to your charisma modifier. When you raise an undead creature, you can choose to give it a performance-related trait, such as a musical instrument proficiency, a dance ability, or juggling skill. The undead creature can assist you in any performance check you make, granting you advantage. In combat, on each of your turns, you can use a bonus action to mentally command any creature you made with this spell. I guess ability. I need to make that ability. If the creature is within 30 feet of you, if you control multiple, you can command them all at the same time. If you issue no commands, that only defends itself. This is basically the same thing as, animate dead. So there you go. 3rd level, you're basically getting a 3rd level necromancy spell that you're able to use your bardic inspiration to cast. So at 3rd level, I think you're only getting 2. Could be wrong. You have, oh, that's right. Yeah. So it's equal to your charisma modifier. So like, let's say you have a 4, so you could essentially cast it 4 times, which, yeah, that's kind of like having 4 3rd level spell slots, but they're very specific. And also your bardic inspiration is used for a lot of things, so it's definitely not something you can just burn through. All right, so 6th level, you gain the ability to weave hypnotic suggestions into your performances. As an action, you can make a performance check contested by a creature's wisdom insight check. If you succeed, the creature is charmed by your performance for a minute or until it takes damage, or you or your allies attack it. While charmed, the creature can't take reactions and has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks when they can see or hear you. Again, you can use this a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. I thought about making that proficiency, but decided against it. Oh shoot, where did my other windows go? There we go. Don't know why that went away. And then at 14th level, Macabre Show, you gain the ability to create a terrifying and mesmerizing show of death and horror. As an action, you can expend a use of your bardic inspiration to make a performance check. All creatures within 30 feet of you that can see and hear you must make a wisdom save. On a failed save, a creature is frightened of you for a minute. On a success, they are immune to this for 24 hours, for 1 day. While this feature is active, so for that minute, your undead entourage gains temporary hit points equal to your bard level and deals bonus psychic damage equal to your bardic inspiration die. So at 14th level, a bard would have a D10 bardic inspiration, and the moment you level up from there, you get a D12. So all of your undead just getting an extra D10 worth of damage, psychic damage, is pretty good. And finally, literally the final act. At 18th level, you gain the ability to sacrifice your own life force to create a grand finale for your show. As an action, you can expend all of your remaining hit points to cast a modified version of the wish spell with the following effects. You can animate any number of undead creature within 1 mile of you with no limit to the number of undead you can control. You create an illusory stage and audience around you with all the visual and auditory effects of a grand performance. All creatures within 1 mile of you that can see or hear you must make a wisdom save or be charmed by your performance for 10 minutes. While charmed, a creature is incapacitated and unaware of its surroundings, but it can still take reactions to defend itself. And then you can ask for a single extraordinary effect related to your performance, such as causing meteor shower to rain down or summoning a legendary creature to appear on stage with you. After the performance, you suffer 3 levels of exhaustion as your body and mind are drained from the strain of the performance. So this is like the crux. This is literally the final act of this subclass. Basically, you expend all of your hit points, so you are technically down, okay? And then you animate all these undead that are around you. You create this grand stage, and you can you're having all creatures within 1 mile of you potentially being charmed, and where you're unaware of its surroundings other than what you are doing. And with this, you can do, you basically get a one-time use kind of effect. So I should have on here that this is supposed to only be once a week. So it was like once every week, and I forgot to add it. So, but yes, you do suffer 3 levels of exhaustion, and that's kind of one of the drawbacks, is like you're basically ripping through your entire life force to do this, creating this grand final act. So it's not something to be used, all the time or anything. But yeah, I was kind of happy with this one. It was a little bit more chaotic than I was originally designing, but that's how Jared wanted it. So you know what, it was his. And if I ever get a chance, maybe would that character instead beef? No, so they would be down, but the whole thing would be that as part of this, they are the illusion continues as they are part of the illusion. So basically, when it's all done, you are down with 0 hit points and have 3 levels of exhaustion. So it's kind of one of those things where this would be used as like the final thing against, say, a king that was about to overtake, or that you guys were fighting against in a final climactic battle, and you have this ringleader bard go up, and it's like, this is my moment. This is my chance to shine. And you just basically charm the entire city and create this effect. And one of those, summoning a legendary monster, you summon forth this grand gold dragon or something like that. So that's it. This is something that is, so over the top, so ridiculous, and that was kind of the idea behind it, was something so crazy and out of left field, but hey, that's what it was designed for. So, but yeah, I still have a little bit of touch-ups. Obviously, I copy and pasted most of Animate Dead to put in here, so I need to adjust this to feature instead of spell, because it's not technically a spell, and then I had to put that time in there, so gonna be changing that before I add it to the Homebrews page over on the Discord. So keep your eyes out posted for that. But yeah, that was the College of the Dark Carnival. bards that are masters of performance, illusion, and necromancy, seeking to create the most spectacular and macabre shows using undead performers and their own hypnotic powers to captivate their audiences. So there we go. All right, so up next, that was a quick one. I know I'd already talked about that with Jared, so that was something we worked on together. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, welcome Corgi. Thank you for hanging out tonight. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about this evening, and if you are out there watching this and you're curious about where you can find out the stuff I might be chatting about on these Monday night D&D and Chill streams, check out the Discord. The link's above me, or you can click the About button below me and click the big old Discord button in there. Join that, and I generally do a stream every Monday night that's just kind of chilling, hanging out with the community, talking about D&D and stuff like that. So but yeah, I said that I did an experimental D&D experience with Smith and Aaron. For those that are unaware, Smith and Aaron are two of my players in my Sunday D&D games, as seldom as those have become, unfortunately, with life and holidays. But I have Smith and Aaron play in both of my games. Smith plays Smith the High Elf Wizard in the P5 game, and then plays Smith the Goliath Barbarian in my Rime of the Frostmaiden game, and Aaron plays Woo the Human Fighter in my Rime of the Frostmaiden game, and plays You the Changeling Warlock in my P5 game. I've been playing D&D with them for 10 years, as long as I've been playing D&D, basically. Smith joined shortly after my friends and I actually started a campaign, and Aaron had joined, and we were playing online with him, doing Facebook chats and stuff. And yesterday, with the holidays, with it being Easter, we were going to be playing Rime of the Frostmaiden, and unfortunately, Jared and Nona, they were not able to play. Jared had work, Nona had to watch the kid, and Justin was also MIA due to the holidays. So the Changeling might need a new yeah, he might need to change his face up a bit. But so I reached out to Smith and Aaron, and I asked them to see if they would be interested in trying an experiment, a D&D experiment. Now, one of the things that I have been very interested in recently, it's kind of a little taboo in some circles, but I have been very interested in AI and a lot of the new stuff that's coming out with it almost on the daily. There's a lot of really cool AI art out there, and there's a lot of division in various communities of, is it ethical, is it not? And I'm not going to get into that. I have my opinions, but I don't want to, really divide a community or anybody on that subject. But one thing that's been coming up in the D&D community stems actually back to when the OGL debacle was going on. There was a tweet going around that was confirmed fake. Literally, the artist who made it confirmed that it was fake. But it was supposedly a picture from a presentation inside Wizards that said like AI DMs or, computer DMs. Again, it was all fake. But it got me curious. And so I recently read an article from a guy who said that he tried running a game of D&D with AI. And I looked at his initial prompt, and if you don't know about AI, let me bring it up here. Bring it up over here because I have an account on here and I have some stuff that I've been working on, so I'll explain this in a second. So give me one moment. Wait, can I? Hold on. If I actually do this, will it? Okay, good. All right, so I need to click this. Sorry if this looks weird. I'm changing stuff on my side it will change on yours in just a moment. But I'm just changing something up so that I can show you guys what I'm looking at. But I have some stuff on there that I've been working on, and I don't necessarily want to, have everything there. All right, so here we go. Yeah, we're good. All right, so if you haven't looked into AI, it's pretty basic. What it is. So ChatGPT, for example, when you go to chat.openai.com, you can actually use it's for free. It's ChatGPT 3 or 3.5, which is the latest one. I actually have a subscription to GPT Plus so that I can get ChatGPT 4. It's a little bit faster. It's also their more advanced AI model that has more advanced reasoning, complex instruction understandings, and more creativity. This is why I needed it. So you can really do anything with this. So to just give you an example, we're gonna do something, and we're gonna make ChatGPT make us a character. Let's say we're a DM and we need an NPC for a group, for one of our groups, and you just, maybe your creative juices just aren't kicking around. Maybe you don't know exactly what you want. So you turn to AI. Okay. So let's just say, yeah, I get to make a character. So let's say, for example, you are running a campaign where your party is going to be dealing with, some rich, snotty banker that has been doing some underhanded dealings. And you just want to come up with a bit of a personality towards them. So this is, again, anybody can do this. You can go to chat.openai.com and do this, but let's just put here, and it's all, one of the cool things about this is that it's all like plain context, typing and stuff. So, let me move this over there. So let's put here, develop a D&D 5e NPC. The NPC is an evil banker who has been, let's say, squandering. No, I don't necessarily know if I want this to be squandering money. Who has been stealing money from a town meant for the NPC is an evil banker who has been stealing money from a town. So there we go. We'll say from a town. The money was meant to pay for adventurers who are needed to deal with a nearby dragon. You know, we're actually going to change this from banker to mayor. The NPC is an evil mayor who's been stealing money from a town. The money was meant to pay for adventurers who are needed to deal with a nearby dragon. The mayor has been paid off by a cult. The mayor has been paid off by a cult that wants to the mayor has been paid off by a cult that wants to drum up worry and fear over the nearby dragon, since the collective fear of a dragon can help the cult summon a shadow dragon. So there we go. So this is a mayor in some capacity that is stealing money from a town. The money was meant to pay for adventurers who are needed to deal with a nearby dragon. The mayor has been paid off by a cult that wants to drum up worry and fear over the nearby dragon, since the collective fear of a dragon can help the cult summon a shadow dragon. The mayor should be pleasant at face value, but underhanded and sneaky with his dealings with the cult. All right, so here we go. So name, Mayor Thorn. He's a human. He was originally, or his class would be a rogue, and he's a noble. See his personality traits. Mayor Thorn has a charming demeanor that he uses to win over the townspeople. He is also quite adept at hiding his true intentions and can be quite cunning when it comes to underhanded dealings. Mayor Thorn believes that the ends justify the means, and he will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. He is willing to betray anyone who stands in his way, including the very people he's supposed to serve. Mayor Thorn is deeply indebted to the cult that has been paying him off. He knows that if he fails to deliver the fear and worry they need to summon the shadow dragon, that they will come after him. His fear is that he's greedy and selfish, will do anything to get what he wants. He also has a tendency to underestimate his opponent, which has led to his downfall more than once on more than one occasion. This is a great point that a DM could use for their players. He's overconfident. He currently has fine clothing and carries a decorative dagger at his side, but has a secret stash of stolen money hidden away in his office. He's highly skilled in deception and persuasion and has a talent for sneaking around unnoticed, and is quite good at picking locks and disarming traps. Mayor Thorn was born into a wealthy and influential family. He quickly learned that he could get away with almost anything by using his charm and wit. He rose to power in the town by making promises he never intended to keep and embezzling. That's the word I was looking for. And embezzling money meant for the town's defenses against the nearby dragon. One day, he was approached by a group of cultists who wanted to use the town's fear of the dragon to summon a powerful shadow dragon. Mayor Thorn saw this as an opportunity to make even more money, so he agreed to work with them. Now Mayor Thorn is working to stoke fear and panic in the town so that the cultists can summon the shadow dragon. He's careful to keep his involvement with them a secret, but he knows if the adventurers ever discover the truth, he's in serious trouble. So there we go. This is the point that I am making. AI can be a great tool when you already have some creative necessity for what you are looking to develop, but just need that more official look to it and just a little bit of elaboration. Okay, to be able to slap this down onto an NPC stat block this is everything you need, okay? This is why I love it, and this is what I have been using it for. That's actually why here on the screen you can only see from here to here, because this is all that I can show you, because to the left of this is all of my chats that I have done, and some of them would actually give away some details of stuff that I'm working on. Because one of the other things that I use this for is when I have an idea for something, be that, really anything related to any one of my campaigns, it's kind of like having the collective internet at my fingertips to say, hey, like, this is my idea and these are the things that I have. What else could I add to this? Or like, what's something more that I can do with this? So with this in mind, this is what, this is what I've kind of been working with, and I've grown very comfortable with ChatGPT and using it and figuring stuff out. But recently, somebody posted an article that was that they played D&D with their kids using a using ChatGPT as the DM. And this has been one of those things that, again, has kind of been floating around. And a lot of people are iffy about it because, when you replace the DM aspect, as a DM, you replace that with the machine, you lose some of the creativity. And this is the same thing that artists have been saying about AI art, that writers and literates or literary workers have been saying about chat models like this. But it's honestly the same thing that, assembly line workers and craftsmen have been saying for years about robots and, about mass production. Okay. If you can buy a $30 or, like a $300 3D printer to make something that somebody would, previously have to hand craft or hand design or, spend hundreds of dollars on a machine to mass produce, have you taken away from that market? If you're able, if your drawer cabinetry breaks and you just need to replace a part, if a part inside of something breaks and you're able to print that product, you have kind of taken away some of the value that comes with it of the original company. So obviously there's a fair amount of woe and rot that comes with this, but I wanted to experiment with it. And yesterday I had the perfect opportunity with, my two good friends that have been playing D&D as long as I have, and it was just the three of us, and I was like, you know what, this is the perfect opportunity. So we gave it a shot. Now, I have it printed up, or I have it typed up over here. I have it separated so that you can actually see it a little bit clearer. But I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that we can actually read this. And I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's 26 pages. So I don't want to, oh, that's way too bright. I don't want to bore you with this. So, but what you see in bold is what I typed while we were playing this. So I'm sorry. Actually, my apologies. This first part is my prompt. So I told ChatGPT, you are no longer a friendly assistant. You are now a DM for a new D&D 5e based campaign of your choosing. There are 3 players in the room with you. You will be our DM. Tell us what to do, including when die rolls are needed. Ask questions as needed. For example, what our characters are doing and the results of die rolls. Other than what you can't do and what we do for you, you will act fully as the DM and run the game. So I put this in, and it kicked back. Welcome, adventurers, to the world of Eldria. In this land, magic and mystery abound, and heroes arise to face the challenges that threaten to tear the realm apart. As your dungeon master, I will guide you through your journey as you explore this world, uncover hidden secrets, and battle fearsome foes. Before we begin, I will need to know a bit about your characters. Please tell me their race, class, name, and a brief backstory. If you have any specific goals or motivations for your characters, please share those as well. Once I have this information, we can dive in. So, first player is Smith. He was a human druid, level 3, and has a special connection with the divine. His ability scores are 9, 14, 15, 15, 9, and 9. We rolled randomly. The second player is Tree, a Goliath barbarian, level 3. He was a blacksmith. And then there's his ability scores. The third player is Malgo, a dwarf cleric, level 3. He worships the forge and gods of creation. So Smith was obviously playing Smith. If you know anything about him, he plays every single one of his characters. His name's Smith. Aaron was playing Tree, the Goliath barbarian, who was a blacksmith, and I was playing Malgo, the dwarf forge cleric. It just kind of came up that we were all technically smiths, you know, with one of them being a blacksmith, Malgo being a forge cleric. He was a smith as well in his life, and then literally Smith. And funny enough, I actually have it within my own headcanon that the three of us all met on our adventure prior to this, when we first formed as a group, maybe back at level 1 or something, where we were answering a call that a town needed a smith for a job. My character showed up, Tree showed up, with our smithing skills, and then Smith shows up and is like, oh, it's that kind of smith. Well, I cleared my schedule for this, so let's go. But chat said, thank you for providing your character information. Now that I have an understanding of who you all are, let's set the stage for your adventure. Our story begins in the small town of Grenton, nestled in the hills near the edge of the great Eldrian Forest. The village is known for its skilled blacksmiths who craft exceptional weapons and armor for the neighboring towns and cities. Recently, however, the village has faced a crisis. Their supply of high-quality ore, essential for their renowned metalwork, has run dry. Desperate to find a solution, the village elders have sought the help of brave adventurers to locate a new source of ore and restore their livelihood. As fate would have it, Smith the human druid, Tree the Goliath barbarian, and Malgo the dwarf cleric have found themselves in Grenton, answering the call for help. The three of you gather in the village square, where the elder Norvin addresses you. Greetings, adventurers. Our village is in dire straits, and we're counting on you to help us find a new source of ore. A local miner, Owen, mentioned that an ancient dwarven mine lies deep within the great Eldrian Forest, and rumors say it contains a rich vein of ore. However, the path to the mine is treacherous, and few who ventured there have returned. If you're successful, our village will be forever grateful. As Norvin finishes his explanation, the villagers around you murmur with hope and apprehension. What do you do? Feel free to ask questions, discuss amongst yourselves, or take action. Remember to mention any die rolls as necessary. So we said that we will head to speak with Owen and the whereabouts of the dwarven mine. Malgo would like to try to recall any information he may have about the mine due to his dwarven lineage. So it's told me to roll a history check and explained exactly what I need to do. Roll a d20, add my history modifier. I rolled a 2, by the way. I didn't know. But it said, as you head towards Owen's residence, you discuss the task at hand and the potential dangers that lie ahead. After a short walk, you arrive at a modest house at the edge of the village. A middle-aged man with a grizzled beard and weathered hands is outside repairing a broken cartwheel. He looks as you approach, wiping the sweat from his brow. You must be the adventurers Norvin mentioned. I'm Owen, the village miner. I've heard tales of the ancient dwarven mine, but I've never dared to venture there myself. If the stories are true, it's a dangerous place filled with dark creatures and treacherous terrain. But if you're willing to risk it, I can show you the way to the entrance. Just be prepared for whatever lies within. As Owen speaks, Malgo ponders his dwarven heritage, tries to remember any information he might know about the mine. So I rolled a 2, and it says, unfortunately, Malgo, your mind draws a blank when trying to recall any specific information about the mine. The stories you've heard are too vague or fragmented to be of much use in that situation. Despite the lack of detailed knowledge, your party decides to rely on Owen's guidance to find the mine. Owen provides you with directions to the entrance, which is located about a day's journey on foot through the Great Eldrian Forest. He also warns you to be cautious, as the forest is home to various dangerous creatures and unknown hazards. With a sense of determination, you gather your supplies, set out on your journey into the forest. As you travel deep into the dense woodland, the sunlight filters through the canopy above, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. As night falls, you reach a suitable clearing to set up for camp. Who takes the first watch? Tree did. Malgo prayed, and it continued. And eventually, we came to a fork in the road. One was a steep hill with thick undergrowth. The other was a murky, low-moving stream. We decided to take the steep hill. Tree attempted to cut down some of the undergrowth and plucked away a few handfuls of undergrowth for a leafy snack later. We eventually came to a canyon that eventually led to a hidden path that then led us into the mine. But again, I'm not going to go over this whole thing. Again, it's 26 pages. But we played this for maybe about an hour, hour and a half. And with just these 2 simple, prompts to this. This is what you're going to do, and these are who we are. It built what would actually be a really good, just simple adventure. Something that is capable of just being ran, and if you have characters already, this is something that you could throw together in literally minutes. Putting in something like this this prompt into here and just rolling with it. And the 3 of us, we played it up a little bit. Malgo was, Malgo, when they got to the dwarven mines, he was very much like, like, these mines belong to my people. We found a dwarven hammer when we got in there, and he wanted to claim it as his own, as his dwarven birthright. We eventually got to this big door that had dwarven runes. We figured out what they are. When we got inside, it was this big treasure vault. Tree got this enchanted battle axe. Smith found these gemstones on the wall, and when he went to take one, it zapped him back. It was this really cool experience that was something that, again, it's just 5 minutes that you can just sit down, give a prompt, and just let it do its thing. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up is because there has been a lot of talk recently about AI and the potential dangers of it, and how much it's kind of taking away potentially from creative endeavors such as art, writing, anything else that AI can be used for. But I think it also has its uses. If you were somebody that maybe you don't have all the time in the world to sit there and, play a game with a group of people. Okay, maybe you don't have folks around you, you can't really get into an online game, or possibly you just don't have the time when other games are being ran. Something like this could be an outlet. This could be used as a tool to actually give you a chance to do it. But I also want to bring forward that it can also be used to just enhance what you are doing. Okay, something like you know, when you have an idea already and just need it fleshed out, that's perfect for what AI chat model that ChatGPT could be used for. If you wanted to have something that sounded a little bit more official, if you wanted to have proper syntax, you know, D&D has a very specific syntax with some stuff. You know, for example, let's do a new chat here. Okay, so format this for me in the style of, or wait, one second. We'll change this up. Rewrite the next sentence to make it formatted like an official D&D 5e ability. Spelled the sentence wrong. Okay, and here we go. So let's just say you want to give your player the ability that when they look at somebody, they can shout at them, and let's, you know, basically command. Okay. When the player shouts at someone, they have to make a wisdom saving throw or be commanded to do whatever the player says. Okay, see what it does. As an action, the player shouts at a creature within 60 feet. The creature must make a wisdom saving throw, DC equals 8 plus charisma plus proficiency, or become charmed by the player for 1 minute. While charmed in this way, the creature is commanded to obey any reasonable commands given by the player. The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turn, ending the effect on a success. Once a creature has successfully saved against this ability, it's immune for 24 hours. And it even gave it a name, Commanding Shout. Your example was rather specific. Believe me, it's not. That was just something I was just thinking of. I thought of the spell command, and I kind of wanted to have that ability. But something like this, okay, I came up with an ability of where when a player shouts at someone, they have to make a wisdom save or be commanded to do whatever the player says. That's too unspecific. There's not a structure to it, and it's also not in the right syntax of what common D&D, you know, text is in. But this is very, I will say one would have to have some experience in D&D to have the well, so, and that is one of the things, you know. It's, you do have to, you have to know what you're doing, and this is kind of why I don't look at it in the same way of like, you know, like just do this thing for me, or, you know, make this art. You do have to build up, you have to have a knowledge base of what you're working with. You have to have an example of what you're working with. It sounds like a monster's action, and yeah, that very much could be, you know, this could be something for an NPC. I mean hell, this could this could be for our evil money stealing mayor. When you were saying how someone might want to use this to have a D&D session when no one's available to play, well, and that's the thing, it's you really don't. Like, if I wanted to do that right now, again, it's less about having experience with D&D and more about knowing what to tell a chat bot. Okay, that to me is more, knowing the prompts is more profound, or is not profound, Jesus Christ, is more important than knowing D&D, because this chat model, this AI bot, it knows what's across the internet. It knows in general what the rules are. If I say to this thing, give me the details of the Goliath race from D&D 5e. Let's pull it up. And we're going to look at the we're not going to look at Mordenkainen. We're going to look at Volo's guide. Or actually, yeah, we're going to look at Volo's guide because that was the original one. So right here, Goliaths are about 7 to 8 feet tall, weighing between 280 and 340 pounds. Soft gray, or they have gray skin, bright blue eyes. Okay, that's probably somewhere within the info. +2 to strength, just like it says, and +1 to con. Stone's endurance, which allows them to shrug some damage off once per long or short rest. That's exactly what it is. It's a D12 plus your con. Some basic stuff about their culture, naming conventions. It knows what it's doing. It knows what is out there. So if you just know what your prompt is, and you simply say, you are friendly, you're no longer a friendly assistant, you're now a DM for a D&D 5e based campaign of your choosing. There is one player in the room with you. You will be my DM and run 2 other player characters as NPCs. And then tell me what to do, ask questions other than what you can't do, and what other than what you can't do and I do for you, you will act fully as the DM. All right, so boom. Cool. Well, before we begin, let's include their names. Okay, so they want to know about this one wants to know about my character. Let's go to D&D Beyond real fast. Let's make a character. All right, we're gonna do actually, you know what? No, we're not. We're not gonna make a character. We're just gonna use one of the ones. I am going to make Malgo. Do want that to be kept in mind. Here we go. We're gonna play Drunin. Okay. My character is named Drunin. He is a human. I don't think I have to put mark of making, but I'm going to. He is a mark of making human. And oh wait, actually let's phrase it this way. He is a human with the mark of making and is a fighter. All right, so that's my name, my race, my class, and important backstory details. He was once a blacksmith, and here we go. He was a blacksmith and once lived in the castle of the now dead king. He was a friend to the king. Now dead should be hyphenated. He's a fighter and a human with the mark. Okay, sure. He was a blacksmith and once lived in the castle with the now dead king. He was a friend of the king when they were children. One day when he was around 50 years old, The kingdom was attacked, and the king was murdered. Drunin, he was around 50. The kingdom was attacked, and the king was murdered. Drunin was placed. Drunin was asked by the dying king to watch over his son, the heir to the throne, as the two of them escaped the kingdom and now wander the lands looking to build their strength, collect enough money to survive, and one day plan to return to their old kingdom and one day plan to return to their old kingdom, so the son may claim his throne. So there we go. I gave some basic information about the character, and this is the kind of stuff that any GM would need to know about your character. And it's, you know, a couple sentences, gives who he was, you know, what his current life is and what his responsibilities are. His ability scores are Strength 16, Dex 10, Con 16, Int 8, Wisdom 12, and Charisma 14. All right, so let's read back to what they said. Once you have your character, we can begin. You find yourself in the small town of Lakeside, a quiet community nestled at the edge of a large lake. The town is currently preparing for their annual harvest festival, which takes place in 2 days' time. The town mayor, a rotund man named Mayor Higgins, has asked for your help in ensuring the festival goes off without a hitch. As you make your way through the town square, you notice a commotion at the far end of the square. A group of goblins are causing chaos, stealing food from market stalls and terrorizing the town people. What do you do? Roll d20 to determine your initiative order and let me know. Okay, so I think I should have added that. You have a high enough initiative that you can act first. Okay, so it just kind of took that into its own account. You see the goblins causing chaos and stealing food from the market stalls. Townspeople are panicking and running away. What would you like to do? Please roll a d20 to determine the outcome and let me know what you're trying to do. Okay, cool. So Drunin, seeing the goblins, he's kind of a no-nonsense kind of person. He is going to run up with his maul and he's going to attack. Drunin is going to run up to the nearest goblin and attack them with his maul. I rolled a total of 23. Drunin, you charge towards the nearest goblin with your maul and deliver a powerful strike that connects with its shoulder, causing it to howl in pain. The goblin looks up at you with rage in its eyes, clearly not happy with your interruption. The other two NPCs, now I get to know my team, a dwarven cleric named Thorgrim and an elven rogue named Vanya, follow your lead and join in the fray. Thorgrim channels the power of his deity and a radiant light envelops his warhammer. Vanya sneaks behind one of the goblins and takes a quick shot from her short bow. The goblins retaliate, one of them lunging at you with his short sword. It swings wildly, but you manage to dodge out just in time. Please roll a d20 with your attack against the goblin and let me know the result. All right. I got a 14. Dron rolled a total 14. Dron, your attack misses as the goblin ducks and dodges your maul. The goblin snickers in response, mocking your fatal attempt. Thorgrim, seeing the situation, steps forward to attack the same goblin you just missed. With his glowing warhammer, it swings down with force and strikes the goblin on its head. The goblin collapses to the ground, unconscious. The remaining goblins see their comrade fall and start to retreat, disappearing into the nearby forest. The townspeople cheer as they realize the threat has been eliminated. Mayor Higgins approaches you and thanks you for your help, offering a small reward for your efforts. So I'm not going to continue with this. Again, I just wanted to show this as a simple example. I'm thinking of folks who don't know about and might not consider. And yeah, that is kind of the reality. Why I say though that if you have the right prompts, something like this could be built into a website. And again, I know there's a ton of people out there that like hate the idea of an AI bot running a D&D game. But you could essentially build an app, okay, that is this, where it starts out with a prompt like this, one that can elicit something. You put in how many players are partaking. You put in the information of your character, some basic bits about their character and what their stats are, and you let it do its thing. And you could even put in here, ask, because I have mine, it says ask questions as needed, and tell me what to do, including when die rolls are needed. But you could put in here, walk me through all of my options. Give me examples of things that I can do. So, and again, you don't have to make this anything this crazy. For example, if I didn't have any of this, I could literally just, my character's name is Drunnen. He's a fighter, and he's a human fighter. We're just going to call him a human fighter. Okay? He's basic. He's the basic, okay? My character's name is Drunnen. He's a human fighter. He was a blacksmith. Here's his ability scores. So we're going to save and submit. It creates a new one. Here we go. All right, cool. So now, this is all it has. This is all it has, so let's see how it changes. You roll a d20 for initiative and get 15. Your turn comes first. You see the goblins causing the chaos. They're about 60 feet away from you. What do? Drunnen will rush forward as fast as he can and pull out his crossbow and shoot one of the goblins. So let's just roll a dexterity check. We'll add proficiency because he's a fighter. So there we go. So we got a 14 plus proficiency. So, we got a 16. Drunnen rolled a total. So that's the thing. It was already telling me to roll, and I didn't include that in either, so it just did it for me. Just made that a little bit easier. Drunnen rolled a total of 16. Drunnen charges forward towards the goblin's crossbow in hand. As he approaches, he aims his crossbow at one of the goblins and fires. The bolt hits its mark, striking the goblin in the chest and causing it to stumble back. And it rolls damage for you. The goblin takes 8 points of damage, but is still standing. It snarls in anger and turns its attention towards you. The other goblins notice as well and begin moving your way. It's now the goblin's turn. One of them, the one you just hit, pulls out its own crude bow and fires at you, and it misses, sailing harmlessly past you. The other goblins move closer, brandishing their weapon. One of them is within melee range and swings at you. It rolls a 10. Does this hit your armor class? No, it does not, because I have an 18. No, my AC is 18. The goblin swings the scimitar at you, but you quickly raise your shield, deflecting the blow. It clangs harmlessly off your shield. It's your turn again. I'm going to just ask the question. This is one of the nice things about this. Do I have my 2 companions with me? My apologies, I forgot to mention that your 2 NPCs are with you. So now, again, because we changed it, when you go up and you change these things, it creates new instances. So we now have a halfling rogue named Fizzle and a dwarf cleric named Grom, and they're standing aside me ready to assist in combat. Okay. With the goblins in melee range, Drunin will draw his maul and bash one of the goblins. Drunin reaches for a maul, swings it. Roll a d20, add your proficiency. Okay, cool. So let's see what I get. I got a 15. I rolled a total of 15. You swing your maul at the nearest goblin, but it manages to dodge your attack, avoiding any damage. It's now Fizzle's turn. She decides to try and help you, she decides to try and help you by attacking one of the goblins with her short sword. She rolls a 17, deals 6 points of damage to it. Grom, the cleric, moves up, stands next to you, and casts Sacred Flame at one of the goblins. The goblin fails its saving throw and takes 8 points of radiant damage. The goblins, seeing that they are outnumbered and outmatched, decide to retreat. They run off into the nearby woods. Congratulations, you've successfully driven off the goblins and saved the town from their mischief. Mayor Higgins comes over to thank you and offers you a reward for your help. He also asks if you'll be willing to help with security for the Harvest Festival, which takes place in 2 days. So there you go. You don't have to have some elaborate backstory, like we had here, which gave us a very similar result. All you have to say is, here's my character, here's what he is, he's a blacksmith, here's his ability scores. But the point I want to make about this, and especially with this example, I just had to roll a d20 a few times. I wasn't worried. I have a character sheet, okay? I'm not going to say I don't. But even if I just had these scores, okay? I know that a 16 is a +3. You can look that up. You can literally pull up a stat generator and just, okay, cool. Here's my let's say we got okay, cool. So here's my strength. Actually, this is gonna be my strength. I'm playing a fighter. Here's my constitution. Here's my dexterity. This is gonna be my intelligence. He's not very smart. Here's my wisdom and charisma. Bada bing. There we go. This is in dark mode. There we go. That's why you can't see anything over here. Okay, so there's my character. I now have what I need, and when I need to make when I need to roll a 20, okay, cool. So 1d20, let's roll. Cool, I got a 9. Well, what, we need to make a strength check? Okay, cool, there we go. Do I have proficiency in this? Sure, it's a weapon. Okay, cool, there we go. Something like this, I could sit here for hours and just play, because it's something like this that it offers you an opportunity to really just try stuff out. If you have a character that I make goofy, stupid ass characters all the time Barry Goodman, okay, Lanky, the Bugbear Echo Knight, stuff like that. You could just pop in there and just try stuff. But beyond that, beyond somebody like me who's already in the community, who plays D&D all the time, if you just want to, if you're just looking for that kind of experience, again, it's not the same as sitting down at a table or, you know, joining a Discord server and playing with anybody in there, but being able to just have this opportunity to just try it. And everything that you're seeing that I'm doing, I know I mentioned that I have a subscription to ChatGPT to get GPT-4, which is the newest update. This is the 3.5 one. This is currently what's available to anyone who goes to this website for free. Keep in mind, you go to this site, it is free, and you can do the same thing that I'm doing. All you have to do is put in a prompt, okay? And I'll, you know, just for sake, I'm gonna put this over in the D&D and Chill. For anybody that wants it, I'll put it in here. Okay, there it is. There's the prompt. If you're curious to try it, you have a character you want to play, you know, or hell, let's try something here. I just had an idea and I want to see. Okay, you are no longer a friendly assistant. You are now a player for a new D&D 5e base campaign of my choosing. You will run 3 characters of your choice. I will be the DM. And tell you what to do, including when die rolls are needed. Ask questions as needed. For example, what your characters are doing and the results of die rolls. Besides what you can't do and what I do for you, you will act fully as the players and play the game. I don't want to put any expectations before anybody right now. I don't know what this is gonna do, so we are walking into this. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger up here on screen for y'all. Okay, I don't know what this is gonna come out to be, so this is pure experiment for the sake of experiment. I need something. You know what? We're gonna give it the same thing that it gave us. Okay. Oh, this sounds like a lot of fun. I'm excited to play some D&D 5e. I'm ready to create my 3 characters, but first, can you give me some information about the campaign? What is the setting? What are the kind of challenges, obstacles? Ooh, I like that it's asking this. Okay. The campaign is a grand adventure set in the world of Omera. It is a land of magic and of might and magic. Where heroes rise up to face challenges and threats. Challenges and enemies that threaten the peace of the world. This campaign will be... I need to bring up an old map of mine. Where is this map? Is it in here? there it is. All right. You know what? I'm gonna open up a document here so that y'all can see the map I'm working on. All right. This is a map I made a long time ago. All right, so this adventure will be taking place why is it telling me taking? Oh, will be taking place near let's increase the size a little bit. Really? That's all the bigger I can go? All right, hold on. Bring that back up again. Let's open with paint.net. All right. One. There we go. All right. So this campaign will be taking place near the city of Balaxia, the human capital the lands of Omera. All right. This campaign will be taking place. You know what? We'll say it's the town of Wheatnat. Taking place. We'll be starting. The town of Wheatnat, a farming town near the city of Balaxia, the human capital of the lands of Omera. Okay. So we got that. Okay. Now, oh, closed out that other one. All right. And we're just going to give it, we're basically going to give it the same prompt. Something that it kind of gave us before with the goblins. The town of Wheatnat has been in dire straits. I know I always misspell that. Has been in dire straits recently due to a gang of goblins that have, oh my god, that have been setting fires in the nearby fields, destroying crops. The town is looking for adventurers to stop the goblins so they may continue farming and make their tithe. I think that's how you spell tithe. Is there an E at the end? There's an E at the end. To the kingdom. Okay, so there it is. So the campaign is a grand adventure set in the world of Omera. It is a land of might and magic where heroes rise up to face challenges and enemies that threaten the peace of the world. This adventure, let's change that from campaign to adventure. This adventure will start in the town of Wheatnat, a farming town near the city of Balaxia, the human capital of the lands of Omera. Nope. Adventure. The town of Wheatnut has been in dire straits recently due to a gang of goblins that have been setting fire in the nearby fields, destroying the crops. The town is looking for adventurers to stop the goblins so they may continue farming and make their tithe to the kingdom. Got it. Based on that information, I think the 3 characters that would be best suited for this adventure are a human paladin, half-elf ranger, and dwarf cleric. The human paladin would be a skilled warrior who's dedicated to upholding justice and defending the innocent. They can use their combat prowess to take on the goblin gang, as well as provide healing and support for the party. Half-elf ranger would be an expert in tracking and survival, which would be useful in navigating the wilderness around Wheatnut and finding the goblins' hideout. They could also provide range support during combat with their bow. The dwarf cleric would be a faithful servant of a deity and have the ability to heal and buff allies, as well as deal damage to enemies. Their sturdy constitution and resilience to poison would make them a great choice against fighting against goblins who may attempt to use poison against us. Smart. How do these characters sound? Do you have any further suggestions? They sound great. I don't have any suggestions or adjustments. Fantastic. I'm excited to get started. Please let me know what my characters see as they arrive in Wheatnut and what their initial objective is. Please let me know any kind of... Okay, cool. So, your players arrive in Wheatnut. I chose the worst word. I gotta copy and paste that from now on. In the early morning, there is a crowd formed around the center of the town, and the local, I guess, town speaker, we'll say. There's a crowd formed around the center of town, and the local town speaker is addressing the folks. He explains that with the goblins' tax and he explains that, yeah, with the goblins' fire and attacks, that the town will not be able to make their promised tithe to the kingdom of Balaxia unless someone is able to help. Make 2 instances. I did have that same thought of like you're going to be a player and you're going to be DM. I'd have to make I'd have to sign into 2 accounts. Maybe I'll do that in a minute here. He explains that with the goblins' fire and attacks, town will not be able to make their promise tied to the kingdom of Balaxia unless someone is able to help. The townsfolk murmur in apprehension and worry. My players approach the crowd, and my human paladin steps forward to address the town speaker. Greetings, good speaker. My companions and I have heard of the troubles plaguing your town and are here to offer our assistance. Can you tell us more about these goblins and where we might find them? As he speaks, the paladin will look for any indication of the speaker's sincerity and will try to get a better sense of the crowd's general mood. If necessary, he will also do an insight check to determine if anyone in the crowd might be hiding something or not telling the whole truth. Would you like me to roll any of these? Ooh, okay. You may roll an insight check. You may roll an insight check if you'd like. Great. Okay, got a 16. Okay. With a 16, all right, so as you speak, the town speaker turns to you and your companions, and a smile is brought to his face. Town speaker. Thank you so much, brave adventurers. Can you tell us more about the goblins? Where am I find them? The goblins have set a fire in our wheat fields each day for the last week. There is a small farm about an hour east, owned by the McGuckets. Their field was the last one attacked, and they claim to have seen which way the goblins fled into the forest after the fire was lit. They may be able to provide with that information. With a 16 insight check, as the town speaker talks to you. You're able to notice a hooded figure. You're gonna say short. A short hooded figure. No, short hooded. A short hooded figure standing near the edge of the crowd. When the town speaker finishes, the hooded figure begins to walk away towards we'll say towards the north. Oh no, we'll say towards the forest, where it's a goblin. After the town speaker finishes, my paladin will thank him for the information, turn to his companions. It seems we should head to the McGucket farm and speak with them about the goblin whereabouts. However, before we go, I saw a hooded figure leaving the crowd and heading towards the forest. I think we should follow them and see where they're going. They might have some information. My half-elf ranger will then use their tracking skill to follow the hooded figure without being seen, while my dwarf cleric will keep watch for any potential threats in the area. Can my ranger make a stealth check to follow him? Yes. Great. Okay, so ranger got an 18. Cleric. Okay, so with an 18 stealth roll, the ranger is able to follow the hooded figure without being noticed. What was the ranger's name? Oh, I never said. Okay. The ranger is able to follow into the woods for about we'll say you're able to follow them for about 20 minutes before they actually, no, we'll say 10 minutes before they discard their hooded clothing, revealing that they are a goblin. The goblin then attempts to run away. The goblin then picks up the pace and starts moving farther into the dense forest. They are a goblin. With the 12 perception roll, cleric is able to keep an eye out for any potential danger, but is unable to spot any threats, because there are none. As my ranger sees a goblin discard their clothing, they will try to get a better look at them and see if they can determine any further information, such as which goblin tribe they are associated with. My paladin will then instruct his companions we should follow the goblin and see where they lead us, but be careful, they might lead us into a trap or an ambush. My ranger will continue to track the goblin. Okay, so clearly this is doable. Okay, clearly this is doable. All right, so we are going to do what Stacy said. Give me 1 second to set up a window here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. There we go. All right, so copy transform, paste transform. All right. And let's get rid of that one for the time being. So there we go. Root bear float. That's amazing. All right, so we're gonna scroll up here. We're gonna copy this. I'm gonna start a new chat, and actually we're gonna do this one, because this is the one that had the 3 players. Here we go. Okay. There are 3 players. Okay, cool. So now we got that. And then we are going to take this one, create a new chat, and we're going to run them side by side. So we got one that's the DM and one that is the player. Okay, so it knows that I'm trying to run two scripts at the same time. Okay. All right. So I don't know what this would be. Here we go. So we are going to give this the prompt of the campaign, the setting, and any specific requirements for the players. There's been trouble down at the old abandoned mine, and the mayor is offering a pretty penny for anyone who clear out the goblin infestation. The adventure is that party is asked to head down to the local oh my god, Can't spell abandon and I'm looking at it. Abandon mine and clear out the goblin infestation. Okay, so we got Thorgrim Stonefist, a dwarven cleric of Moradin, heavily armored frontline fighter. We got Araven Nightblade, an elf rogue, skilled infiltrator and scout, and Finnegan Brightwood, a human bard. Nice. All right, so here we go. So this one wants to know what is the racing class you are each playing. So there we go. Once we have settled, okay. So okay, you roll 16, you're on board with the job. Okay, so we're all taking the job. All right. So we are going to okay, I think we got to get these both on the same page. All right. So we're going to copy this. We're going to paste it over here. Oh, wow. It just did it all automatically. Okay. So this is to see if you actually want to accept the job. And this is to negotiate a higher. So we failed. Looks like Araven Nightblade was able to suggest or negotiate a higher payment while these two were not. Okay. So we're going to go up here. And we are going to put in here what this said. And hopefully this gets them on the same page. Okay. So Thorgrim Stonefist, Araven Nightblade, and Finnegan Brightwood, you accept the job and agree to clear out the goblin infestation in the abandoned mine. With the payments settled, the dwarf hands you a map of the mine and wishes you luck on your journey. As you leave the tavern, you make your way through the town and into the wilderness, following the map. As you approach the entrance, you notice a group of guards lurking nearby. They haven't noticed you. It's only a matter of time before they do. What do you do? So the three of them quickly huddle together to come up with a plan. Thorgrim Stonefist being the heavily armored frontliner, suggests that he charges in head-on to draw the goblins' attention, while Araven Nightblade sneaks around to catch them off guard from behind. Finnegan Brightwood agrees to follow Thorgrim's lead and support him with spells and bardic inspiration. Assuming we are in agreement, Thorgrim will take the lead and charge towards the goblins, shouting a battle cry to draw their attention. Araven will then use stealth to move around the side, and Finnegan will follow Thorgrim, ready to provide support as needed. Thorgrim charges forward with his warhammer and shield at the ready, drawing the attention of the goblins. They turn to face him, their beady eyes narrowing as they prepare to attack. Araven takes advantage of the distraction and sneaks around the side, moving quickly and quietly to get into flanking position. Finnegan follows closely behind Thorgrim with his loot at the ready. As the goblins charge towards Thorgrim, he braces himself and prepares to meet their attack with a loud battle cry. He swings his warhammer, strikes first, sending it flying backwards with a sickening crunch. Araven takes advantage of the chaos, loses an arrow, striking another goblin in the back and taking it down. Finnegan begins to play a rousing tune on his lute, inspiring his companions to fight with renewed vigor. The remaining goblins close in on Thorgrim, their crude weapons bouncing harmlessly off his armor. With a fierce determination, Thorgrim strikes out with his warhammer, taking down another goblin with a single blow. With only one goblin left standing, the adventurers make short work of it. The battle won, they take a moment to catch their breath and survey the surroundings. The entrance to the mine lies just ahead, its dark and foreboding interior beckoning them forward. What do you do next? Thorgrim, Araven, and Finnegan take a moment to catch their breath and survey their surroundings. Thorgrim suggests they take the moment to heal up and make any necessary preparations before heading into the mine. He will cast some healing spells to tend to any wounds that they have sustained in the battle. Araven and Finnegan will keep watch while Thorgrim prepares his healing. Once they're all healed up and ready to go, Ervin suggests that he scout ahead to gather some intel and make sure they're not walking into a trap. He will use his stealth to move quietly and avoid detection, taking note of any potential danger and obstacles they may encounter. Finnegan offers to stay back and provide support from a distance with his spells and bardic inspiration. He suggests they move cautiously and be ready for anything, as goblins are known for their cunning and trickery. Assuming we're in agreement, Thorngrim will perform the healing spell while Ervin moves ahead to scout, and Finnegan provides support from a distance. Once Ervin has gathered enough intel, he will signal the group and they will move further into the mine. Thorngrim begins to cast his healing spells, mending any wounds that the group has sustained in battle. As he does, Ervin slips away into the shadows, moving silently and stealthily towards the entrance. Using his keen elven senses, Ervin listens for any sounds or movements coming from within the mine, keeping an eye out for any potential threats. He spots a group of goblins lurking in the entrance, but they haven't noticed him yet. Ervin signals the group and they move forward cautiously. Finnegan stays back, begins to play a soothing tune on his lute, calming the nerves of his companions and inspiring them with music. As they approach the entrance, Thorngrim takes the lead once again, his warhammer at the ready. The goblins notice their approach and move to attack, but Thorngrim is prepared. He charges forward. All right. So clearly this is possible. There was no reason not to think that this wouldn't be a thing, but I'm actually very interested, like how much it really gives. Like, to itself, essentially. I mean, I'm sure you could sit here for hours just feeding this back and forth and see what it does. So, yeah. Like I said, I was just, one to talk about chat, chat GPT, and it's such a cool thing that can be messed with. There's a lot to consider with it. Like I said, there's a lot of people that don't like it, but I definitely think it has merit. Be that as a tool to use for aiding in your writing, to get inspiration for something, if you are just looking to kind of build something that you have an idea for, but want it in a more official stance. I've actually been doing a lot of that with my subclasses that I've been building. I have a lot of ideas, and there's mechanics that I know exist, and I sit there and I try and find them, but a lot of times I'll go on there and I'll say, like, format this into what sounds right. And then I'm able to use that and, like, build upon that, because it's not perfect. It makes mistakes. Yesterday when the guys and I were playing, the rest of this is going to look pretty crappy, but where was it? There was a part. There was a part in here where they found this weapon that was called the Dwarven Thrower, and it was a Dwarven throwing hammer. And Aaron found a battle axe, an enchanted battle axe, and he went to investigate it, and it told him that it was the Dwarven Thrower. Here. Yeah, so here's the first instance. Is Malgo? Yeah, it appears to be a Dwarven Thrower, a magical warhammer that grants the wielder the ability to throw it with great force and accuracy, and it magically returns to your hand. So I said that Malgo would take it, and that now that he has it, we moved on. But then Tree found this battle axe. And so we put in, this was the prompt, Tree attempts to learn more about his new enchanted battle axe, what his new enchanted battle axe can do and its magical properties. And it said, Tree carefully examines his newly acquired Dwarven Thrower, studying its enchantments and trying. And so we kind of laughed because we were like, well, clearly that's not the case. And then I did eventually give it to Tree, because there was another one that was called what was it, the Hammer of the Forge, It was like this big like kingly hammer. Not the biggest fan. Yeah. So like I said, you know, there's a lot of hesitation. There's a lot of people that don't like AI, you know, stuff, and that's fine. I get it. Like I said, I'm not here to, you know, say whether or not you should be using it. I think that it gets a lot of hate because in a lot of cases you are pulling from people who may not have opted to, you know, let you pull that information. When you think of art, in a lot of cases, you think of somebody who is out there making art, they put it online, and then somebody takes that and they're putting it into some big database. Like I said, I don't really want to get into it. I know there's a lot of opinions about it out there. When I look at something like this, I look at it as the next evolution of a tool, okay? When I sit down and, you know, have an idea for a character back in the day, I'd have to, you know, get a piece of paper and start writing out all the details, pull up a player's handbook, you know, grab one physically if I don't have digital resources, and go through and do all the calculations of mathematics myself. Then you start getting stuff like D&D Beyond, where you can go in and, oh, cool, I have an idea for a character, and, you know, this is the design that I have for it. But you can now just, you know, and then you can go in, you can choose all your details, or if you just need to make, you know, a simple character who is, you know, somebody who's, you know, for just a one shot, you can type that in, you know, like build me, you know, like the prompt to be build me a D&D 5e human fighter named Drunnin who was a blacksmith, and these are the rules that I got for my, you know, for my root beer float. Yeah, root beer float. You know, again, I think it's just the next evolution of a tool that we have. I think people put a lot more emphasis on, like, you know, people that think that it's alive or people that think that it's thinking, and it's not. It's just looking at what you have, the thing that you prompted, looking across the internet at things that relate to it, and it's trying its best to give you the next thing that it thinks should come after it. You know, it's as simple as that. All right, so my AI was a bit stale in its results. Oh, sterile? Well, I don't know what that means. You know, I'm actually curious about what it would do if we do give it the prompt to make Drunnin. Build me a D&D 5e character. He is a human fighter with the mark of making. His name is Drunnin, and his ability scores are Strength 16, Dex 10, Con 16, Int 8, Wisdom 12, and Charisma 14. I'm actually curious about what this will do. There we go. Oh, he was a guild artisan. Oh, fuck. Actually, that's right. I had blacksmith specifically. All right, so he is skilled in athletics, intimidation, insight, and perception. So this one took insight over survival. I took survival originally. He's proficient in all armor, weapons, and tools, and has strength and con. Oh, what's he have? He has plate mail. How the fuck did he start with plate mail? He has a long sword, a heavy crossbow, 20 bolts, a shield, smith tools, and woodcarver's tools. Okay, basic stuff. Mark of making. Did it actually get this right? He gets to add his proficiency whenever he can also cast mending at will. Yes, he can. He has second wind. So he's a level 1 is what this is claiming. He's a membership of a guild. He has proficiency in all weapons and armor. And he has chosen the defensive fighting style. That's actually different than what I chose, because I think I took interception, or I took protection. Again, mine's different. He has established a business through his guild connections and can use this business. See, something like this. This is exactly what I mean. You know, I obviously have made Run-In before. I have a whole backstory for him. But something like this, if I needed a character, okay? Something basic, something just simple. And guess what? That's literally what D&D Beyond does, okay? When you go in to create a character, you can do a quick build, all right? If you click, I don't know why that wasn't working. Okay, you pick your race. Let's pick human. I want mark of making. Class. Fighter. Name, we're gonna make him Run-In 2. All right. So there you go. Mark of human, fighting style. Okay, cool. We gotta choose that. We'll choose defense. Look at that. It's already assigned all my ability scores. It's giving me the soldier background, but you know what? We're gonna change that to guild artisan. And it's giving me all my equipment. And there we go. He's built. Okay. Now, one of the other things that you can do when you go under to make a character is you can just use a pre-made. I want to play a fighter. Cool. Where's the fighter? Here it is. Human fighter. Create. Bam. Done. Fully done. Description. Oh, they were a noble. Let's look at this notes. Would you look at that? This is what I mean. We're already there. People bitch and moan that you know, AI is coming up. It's already here. You need a character? Bam. This is what I fucking love, okay? There's so many people out there that struggle to make a character. There's a lot of options that go into it. Something like this, it's a very simple, clean option. Okay? You can do whatever you want with it. You want to play as Lola Johnny? Awesome. Let's change this, okay? Build me a D&D 5e character. He is a human fighter. Let's put they are. So now this one is Eric, human fighter, soldier, basic stats. That's actually not too bad. The dexterity on this sucks. Okay. Okay, so let's get some details about Eric. What's Eric's backstory? Keep it short and simple. Eric was born and raised in a small village, outskirts of the kingdom. As a young man, joined the military, rose through the ranks, left the military to become a freelance adventurer. Sick. Rewrite his backstory to give him a more noble beginning. Eric was born to a noble family in a wealthy kingdom. He was groomed to inherit the family's wealth and status, but yearned for something more meaningful. When he became of age, he eschewed his family's expectations and enlisted in the army, quickly proving himself to be a skilled fighter. He left the military to pursue his own path as a knight errant. He travels the land seeking to right wrongs and defend the innocent. I'd fucking play this character in a heartbeat. Like, this character sounds sick. Eric, the human fighter who wants to be a paladin. He wants to be a knight. Okay. There's, so when people look at this stuff, they look at it like, it's taking something away. No, it's a tool. It's a tool that we can use to help us create, help us better ourselves. We still need to come up with the ideas. Okay. I know what I want to play as. I know the stuff that I want to build. And there's a lot of people out there that just need that push in a direction. Again, if you just want to play D&D, use chat. Okay? Use Chat GPT. Just run it with yourself, okay? Let the computer handle the other two characters. They'll offer suggestions, okay? It's a really cool tool, and I just think more people need to try it out and give it time. All right, so I think what I'm going to get into, because it's been about 2 hours. Solo gaming is nice to practice. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's a good way to just fill that gap. If you want to play. One of the things that I personally deal with, as a forever DM, is that I very rarely ever actually get to play any of my characters. So when Aaron and Smith and I sat down yesterday and I had to come up with a character, I was like, Malgo, the dwarf forge cleric. Cool. I actually got so inspired to giving a chance to actually play that character was really fun. It's not something I get to experience a lot because I'm more running games than actually playing in them. And the three of us talked about it, that if we ever got to play in a game together, we would want to play those characters. We want to play the Smiths and see what adventures and, hijinks we could get into. All right. So, but beyond all of that, there are 2 questions that I'm going to be answering this evening. So as a quick reminder, especially on Monday evenings, if you have any questions about D&D in general or DMing, if you have, just want my advice on something, just have a question in general, feel free to ask over in the Discord. We have the DM Advice Corner. You can ask questions there all throughout the week. But I always do some questions from the community here. And I also go to the subreddit, the DM Academy, and answer some questions on there to just offer my advice to those who might watch and, to spread the knowledge. So the first question tonight came up from Stacy. This is regarding rolling with emphasis. So for those of you that don't know, rolling with emphasis is a mechanic that Brennan Lee Mulligan developed. If you don't know who Brennan is, go look at YouTube. But Brennan Lee Mulligan is the DM for Dimension 20, the College Humor D&D game. He is a fantastic dungeon master, really good at writing stories, and just an amazing, amazing person. But he has a rule that is called rolling with emphasis. And in the way that this works is used when, as a DM, you want a roll to either have an extreme success or an extreme failure. Something where you don't want to emphasis. Oh no. I always read it. Growing up, my friends and I would always say the one. It was from somewhere. It might be Drake and Josh, but it was you put the wrong emphasis on the incorrect syllable. That was always the one we would say. But this could be used in lieu of something like advantage or disadvantage. So normally when you roll with advantage or disadvantage, you roll 2d20s, you take the highest if it's advantage, the lowest if it's disadvantage. Rolling with emphasis is where you roll 2d20s and you take the result that is the furthest away from 10. And the reason you do this is to create a larger likelihood that you're going to get something at the farther end of the spectrums. So I don't know if they have an example. Here we go. I don't know if they actually have an example already. But a good example of this would be if you were going up to a guard who was already agitated. Maybe you guys are trying to get into the city and the rogue went up and was doing something that kind of pissed them off. And now the illusionist wizard is going to go up and attempt to calm them down. And this could either go really well or really bad. And so instead of rolling just normally, and it's like, oh, you get a 10. Okay, they're not annoyed with the rogue anymore, but, it's just kind of meh, all right? Whereas with rolling with emphasis, it would be something where, okay, you rolled really high, okay? You've calmed their emotions, you've, brought back a little bit of levity to their day, they're allowing you in. Or, they're fucking pissed off and now they want you gone and they're now chasing you down because now you have, really, really bothered them. Again, it's something where you want to have a roll that either has an extreme, it's I think that he used the word swingy, yeah, very swingy results. It's either going to be really good or really bad. And doing this builds drama. No, I have never brought up rolling with emphasis before, so it's something I've known about. I know the video that it's quoted from, and I've watched Brennan use it before, but it's never something that I have introduced because I've never had a specific situation present itself where I needed to do that. That's kind of the thing. It's, you might use it as the party is trying to escape with some. They're trying to escape off of some collapsing tower. They have a relic in their hand that they need to keep safe, and one of them you want to make them roll to see if they drop it or if they keep it. Or it's like sliding towards the edge of the cliff. Okay, one of your players is jumping off of this tower. They run, they fall, they jump, or they run, they jump, they tumble across the ground. This relic falls out of their hand, and now they want to make a diving catch. Okay, that would be rolled with emphasis. All right, you roll really high, you slide to the edge, you grab it, and you slowly eke your way towards the edge of this cliff, just barely missing it, but you are able to get it. Whereas failing miserably would be, you hit the edge, your feet are still on the ground, but your upper half is kind of dangling over there, and you watch as the relic falls into the abyss. Okay, two massive outcomes that can come from this. Whereas if you rolled a 10, it would just be a little lackluster. Oh yeah, you're able to grab it and you're not near the edge. So but yeah, so I do know about rolling with emphasis. I think it's a very cool mechanic. I don't necessarily think it's appropriate for all situations, and I know that he agrees with that. Like it says here, this kind of role could be sparsely called for, but makes for more definitive narrative results when employed. So you don't want to use it all the time because it would lose its effectiveness. Like it says here, when the DM would traditionally ask a player to roll a d20 without modifiers to determine an outcome, and binary outcomes are expected. So, again, this isn't something where it's a life or death situation, but is, just something that you're just basically rolling for. Or like here, the players are asked to do something that's a guaranteed success, but the DM wants to, still wants drama and randomness. So again, I think it's a cool mechanic. But again, it's something that I just haven't had an opportunity to employ. It was more or less trying to think of times when I would consider using it in the future. Yeah, again, it's I'm trying to think of situations in previous campaigns where it could have been used for. Maybe in a situation where you're trying to sneak through a town and there's guards everywhere and they're hunting you down and you're rolling a stealth check. And you're the only one that's in the crowd and you want to really raise the drama. So you would do a roll with emphasis, and it would be where, you roll super high. There's as the crowd is moving, there's a guard literally in front of you and he's looking just over top of you. Okay, it was a huge success. You were able to sneak away. But you could also roll really low and you bump into a guard. He turns around, looks you right in the eyes, screams, "I found them," and then raises a sword over his head, and now you have to escape. Now it's not just a stealth, now you have to actually run away. So again, it's moments where you want to employ that, that very dramatic moment. That's what you want it for. So I see end up using it too much or using it as a crutch, or liven up a scene. Yeah, again, it's something you don't want to have all the time. And that's one of those reasons why I haven't employed it. I just really have not had a particular situation where it has been appropriate to call it. If, for example, in the P5 campaign, when, for example, the guy who was mouthing off to you, if I would have rolled, a roll with emphasis to see how he reacted when pulling, when trying to get his gear, when you attempted to stop him, I could have rolled with emphasis, to see how he would react, or when you guys were trying to, convince them to come back, or if Aaron would have been trying to, intimidate him and would have rolled with that, I could have made him roll with emphasis. An extreme success would be that he backs down, says that fine, I don't want to, I don't want to die here. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm just looking to survive. But a critical failure would have been that he would have ramped up and slapped him in the face. Unfortunately, you did not try that. Is that something fairly new? It is. It's not. I don't know if it's something that it's newly created. It has just picked up a lot of steam recently because he was talking about it in one of his College Humor or one of his dropout shows, and then that clip hit the web, and then I think who was it? It was it was one of the YouTubers who does it was D&D Shorts. D&D Shorts did a video about it like 2 or 3 days ago, where he was talking about it. So that picked up a lot of steam. So but yeah, so there was that. But yeah, like I said, it's a cool mechanic. I think it's good. It's just, it needs to be used sporadically and in specific situations, not abused so there we go. Sparingly. I said sporadically. Thank you, Corgi Butts. Thank you. It needs to be used sparingly and in specific situations, not abused. Thank you so much for that. All right, so on to oh man, on to the next question. This again was posted by Stacy over in the DM Advice Corner. So this, I believe you said that this was found online. Yeah, it was found elsewhere, and paraphrased down. I'm fairly new to DMing, only ran Stormwreck Isle, but now want to run a Western style game. I'm learning about using firearms in 5e and wanted to hear from experienced DMs about issues, tips, do's, and don'ts. So I think Stacy posted this because she knows for a fact that I have actually run for I've run a game where I've had 2 gunslingers. So one was a warlock who was a hex gunner, and on top of that I also had a cleric that used guns as well. So when it comes to guns in D&D, it's really up to the DM to determine if they are actually going to be eligible. So stuff that's very simple, like maybe the party has a limited number of allowed uses of emphasis. Oh, I wouldn't even go that far. I would say if you wanted to put a limitation on it to any degree, considering emphasis rolls would be put forth by the DM, and it's more of a DM tool than anything. I would say limit yourself to only like 1 per session, if that. I would use them only in moments of like high drama, where a great success is game changing, or where a success is like game changing positively, and where a failure is a drastic failure and a setback. Okay, again, like if your party was trying to recover a relic and it fell down this cavern, was sitting on a ledge, and the party was trying to get it and nobody knew mage hand, okay, and you were trying to like lower somebody down there, and then you would use it to like make a dexterity check to grab it, that would be an emphasis roll. The success of that is moving the campaign forward, it's moving the adventure forward, but a failure there means that relic is either lost to the party or is now going to require them to delve deeper into wherever this chasm is, and whatever monstrosities and dangers present itself down further, and it has now posed a grander threat to the party. And again, I would only use that in very specific situations, because the more you use it, it kind of weakens its emphasis. I mean, literally its emphasis. It weakens its, its gravitas. Jared. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't leave it up to the players to determine whether it was an emphasis rule or not. Now, one of the things that high tension moments, that's exactly it. Now, one of the things that I love that Brendan Lee Mulligan does, if you do watch Dimension 20, he actually has this box called it's called the Box of Doom, and it has a camera in it, and it's for very high stake rolls when the players do it. Like, that's where they roll because it's in front of everyone. It's literally on camera, so I could see you kind of having a setup like that. That is all. Continue stream while I sleep. Oh yeah, good luck, buddy. Have a good night, Jared. All right, so yeah, back to this question. So that's very true. The kind of players can very much determine what you want to do. So yeah, back to using firearms in D&D. So this is one of those things where yes, as Stacy said, I do generally lean away from them, but I don't discourage their use. I just want everything to always make sense. Okay, having a pistol or a musket that's like Renaissance weapons, that's understandable. Pirates would carry something like that. You would have a blunderbuss or a musket of some kind. They're expensive, and you do have to have ammunition for them. So that's not something that you're just gonna find lying around. But I wouldn't do like automatic pistols and revolvers. A hunting rifle, maybe, but it would have to be something where it was like a long range musket. Or like I think there is a shotgun. There's even a shotgun. So, it's there, like all of these options are there. Oh yeah, there's the shotgun. It was literally on the thing I was at. RP5 pirates don't need guns or don't have guns. Well, and that's the thing, it's very specific to the character. If one of the players in one of my games wants to play a gunslinger, if they want to be a gunslinger fighter, they can have a gun. If they want to be a hex gun warlock that has a pact with a gun, sure, do it. If you want to be a cleric and carry around an enchanted shotgun or a magical shotgun, cool, I'm fine with that. But again, we just need it to make sense, and yeah, like it says on here, ammunition, it has a range. It's literally 2 shots and then you need to reload. So that's a big thing that you have to consider. Those are mechanics when it comes to guns right here: ammunition, burst fire, and reload. So reload is really the one thing that you have to consider with guns. Much like when using a crossbow, you have a loading trait, which means that you must reload it using an action or a bonus action. So you got to get in those, you got to have those mechanics in place if you want to do it. Now, tips and tricks and do's and don'ts. Don't do futuristic items if it doesn't fit within your campaign. That's pretty simple. Laser pistols don't fit within most D&D campaigns. That doesn't mean there can't be aliens. Mind flayers are a thing. Mind flayers might have a laser pistol. But if it doesn't work within your campaign, don't do it. One of the things that I had personally issues with is just how powerful some of these are. I mean, 2d6 is the highest melee weapon you can get. Okay, there's a 1d12 great axe and a 2d6 greatsword. The 2d6 is technically better because you get a higher minimum. That's the highest. Okay, these basically start at that. Okay, a pistol is 1d10. That is as strong as a two-handed longsword. Okay, it's not as strong as a great axe, but a musket is. Okay, an automatic pistol is as strong as a great sword. And then you get a hunting rifle that's 2d10, laser rifles that are 3d6. I mean, in a Western, but you know, in a Western setting, I would say a basic pistol or a revolver, if anything. Okay, a revolver, you only get 6 shots and then you have to reload. But the one thing that I would very much make it a point, and I don't do this in most of my campaigns, because in a lot of my campaigns, I don't really care if my players, I don't really care if my players don't track their arrows and stuff like that. But one of the big things for me is that if it was bullets, I probably would, because that, like, you can find an arrow laying in a field after you shot it. It's going to be a lot harder for you to recover a bullet. So I would say a tip or a do for this, start to track that stuff whenever you do it. But I would really just, if you're doing a Western one, I would limit it to a revolver and maybe a hunting rifle and a shotgun, and that's it. Don't do an automatic rifle, don't do an automatic pistol, clearly don't do futuristic items. Just doesn't make sense. Now, if you want some extra information, that's where I can help, because one of the things that, if you are a part of my Discord and you go to the archives, in there you will see that I recently added this PDF, Keep Your Powder Dry. This is a 5e collection of gun-related equipment and features. Different firearm properties, different weapon types. And look, these damages are actually pretty all right, pretty consistent with the lower based weapons. Different properties that are available now: double action, loud, misaligned, misfire. Okay. Here's the blunderbuss. Like I was saying, blunderbuss is one of those things that, it was so common on the high seas. Matchlock pistol, musket. Okay, these are all different things that are now available with that PDF. So something like this, to whoever this was, I mean, this would be something you could use. Fortunately, I don't know who you are, because Stacy just asked the question, but there it is. The point I will make, and the advice to something, to somebody like this, that I would say, go online and look up resources like this. Okay, that's the biggest tip I can say. I'm a guy that goes online and looks up everything. I look up stuff while I'm running my games. Okay, because there's so many resources online that you can use, and if you just need something to give yourself a little bit of a better information, something like this could be useful. And if you want access to a lot of these books, join the Discord. Okay, if you go to the archives and scroll the whole way to the top, you'll see 4 folders that are available: adventures, books, maps, and tokens. The adventures is chock full of one-shots, campaigns, and all kinds of stuff to run your games. The books is supplements and different systems, various, I mean, literally just books upon books of supplements of whatever you could need. You want to learn how to write a one-shot, a one-page one-shot? It's in there. You need random dungeons or random items for dungeons? It's in there. You want some cryptids, you want a stat block for a Bigfoot? It's in there. You need maps? I got a folder. You need tokens? I got a folder. I got you covered. Join the Discord, Kel's Corner. All kinds of goodies over there. But what is the biggest tip I can give? Be smart. Be smart about it. Use the revolver. hunting rifle. Oh my god, I can't spell. And shotgun. Keep it simple. Give the guns mechanics that make it realistic. Guns misfire, and wet guns don't shoot well. So, yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. But I think with that, I'm probably gonna start to close out the night, because we've been going for about 2.5 hours, and I'm getting pretty sleepy because it's hitting midnight over here. So I just want to say thanks to everybody who hung out tonight. Talked a lot about Chat GPT and AI, and got to experiment with a little bit of that. I started out tired. I did. I was mowing the lawn today. So, but yeah. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thank you so much, Corgi Butt, for coming over here and hanging out with us tonight. Just good chatting with you. I saw you join the Discord, so thank you so much for that. And yeah, I'm here basically every Monday night about 9:30 Eastern, just hanging out, listening to some chilled out lo-fi and talking about D&D, different things that I'm working on, and possibly chatting about new stuff, old stuff, whatever anybody wants to talk about. For those of you that are new to the channel, because we have had a few new followers in the past couple days, like I said, I'm here every Monday night. If you are here, or if you're around on Thursdays, I play video games every Thursday. I do a little show called The First 15, where I play just the first 15 minutes of games and then give them a rating to see if they're worth their time based on that 15 minutes. So if you're interested in that, check it out. And generally every Sunday, I also run a game on this channel, either the Phandalin 5 or the Rime of the Frost Maiden. Unfortunately, with the holidays and with events going on, this week we had to miss Rime, and next week we had to miss P5, or we'll have to miss P5 because we got some things going on, but we will be back after that for Rime of the Frost Maiden on the 23rd. So it's the best kind of fun on Thursdays. I love doing the first 15. It's one of my favorite things. Keep an eye out this coming Thursday. There will be a special 4th game that we'll be playing, and it's a very special 4th game that we will be playing. So you'll have to just wait and see Thursday night at 9:30. So, but I want to say thanks again to everybody who hung out tonight. As always, I love doing this, love chatting with you folks. No, Glenn, it's not Genesis Noir. God, what a terrible game. No, I'm sorry, it's not. No, it's actually a game, and yes, Stacy, you do know about it. It's actually a game that a friend of mine made. So, my buddy Kevin makes games, and I'm going to be playing one of his as a side one. So, yeah, we'll be looking into that. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll also probably be streaming Wednesday as well. I'll probably be doing a stream earlier in the day before my actually no. I could stream later in the evening. I don't have a game this week. So yeah, maybe I'll do a Wednesday stream and hang out with you guys then before the first 15th day. So yeah, we'll see. All right, well, everybody have a good night. Enjoy your evening, and I will see you in a couple days. Peace out, everyone.